Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. My sincere apologies. I had a little bit too much turkey, and like Terry said there, I kind of accidentally fell asleep. So we won't tell anybody, all right, guys? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. If you would, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Unlocked and into the dark. Some things are better left unknown. And I'll never find you here, 'cause no one's ever What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the grass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. Oh, what a sinner, is it in her? What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays. What a widow, a peaceful spider. When the glass is clean, she's a sneaky hider. Hide the lies and the alibis. What a sinner, is it in her? Is this real? Just illusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. I'm lost in the wonderland of confusion. Is this real or just illusion? Manifestation or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion. confusion.
Ripon Rabbit Hole is a community-driven radio. At times the community comments may reveal prejudices and other beliefs that we or our sponsors do not condone. Views or opinions expressed by the community, callers, or guests, are those of the individual speaking and do not represent the views or opinions of this site. Ripon Common Sense content is intended for mature audiences only. Enjoy.
This is My Life DIY, and
Hi, this is JoJo.
Hi, my name is Ash.
Hey everybody, it's AJ the Ripon Rabbit.
This is Cynthia Sue Larson,
This is your man Meta, aka Propagate This Light,
and you're now listening
to Dark Wolf's Den.
to Dark Wolf's Den Show on Ripon Common Sense Radio.
Are ghosts real?
We had 1,000 hours of continuous communication with the spirit world.
Does time travel actually exist?
The laws of physics seem to be compatible with time machines.
You know, sometimes I wonder about reincarnation. Don't you?
A 4-year-old boy in Adelaide, Australia, has told his parents that he used to be Britain's Princess Diana.
What would happen if the world found out that aliens were real?
I didn't say disclosure would be easy, but what is the alternative?
To establish a space force as the 6th branch of the armed forces.
We have so many questions and yet so little time, so to have you here, the pleasure is all mine.
Coming to you from a secret cave, hidden deep within the wilderness. This is the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and we are broadcasting live from a secret cave, hidden deep within the wilderness of Tennessee. That's right. We're ripping through the electromagnetic soup, tearing through the atmosphere, and tunneling away into your radio like a quantum particle. This is the Dark Wolf's Den Show for Thursday, November the 25th, 2021. Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. This is, of course, Thanksgiving night, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have had a great, great day and got your belly nice and full. And we're going to dig into the Feast of Things here in just a moment. But first, let's see who all we have over here in the chat room joining us tonight. I don't expect it to be a lot. Then again, maybe there's more than usual. Let's find out. How we doing over here tonight, guys? Got Terry Taylor first in the chat room over here on the Ripon Rabbit Hole. Says, thought it was morning. Terry, I guess, had taken a bit of a nap. And, well, she woke up thinking it was the next day. How many times have you guys done that, right? Happy Thanksgiving, Terry. Happy Thanksgiving, says Errol Taylor. Happy Thanksgiving, Errol. Along with Raider Champion, happy Thanksgiving, my friend. JoJo's waving in there. Happy Turkey Day, JoJo's. X-Gen, evening, fellow travelers. Evening, X-Gen. Michael Fontaine, glad to see you, my friend. And we are having some issues on the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Apparently, it says I've got one person in there when I've got four chatting. So, I don't know. It's just being goofy over there. Who else? We got Lobo Ohio says, hi, all. Hi, Lobo. Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. It's a pleasure to see every last one of you guys here over in the Dark Wolf's Den Show. before it acted goofy there, and I think it cut off a couple people. I do apologize. I hope you're still listening. Deranged Lunatic, a.k.a. DL, says, Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving, Deranged. My Life DIY coming in with a Happy Thanksgiving along with Lorraine Lamore. Glad to see you, Lorraine, somebody we don't have very often pop in. So it's been a great turkey day for me. I got stuffed. Oh, my goodness. I've had a wonderful time. I did take a bit of a nap myself, Terry, so I thought I'd missed my own show. There you go. And whether you are on the YouTube chat rooms or listening live around the world on Ripon Common Sense Radio or even listening on demand, we're glad to have every last one of you guys. We are very, very thankful. And before we dig into this feast of thankfulness here on the Dark Wolf's Den radio show tonight, we have two more fun little segments to do. The first of which we call Today in History. On this day in 1949, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer appears on music charts. It would go on to become a beloved favorite for children around the world. That was on this day in 1949, and that is today's segment of Today in History.
Say what?
Our quote of the day today, ladies and gentlemen, comes from Unknown. They write quite a bit, actually. This is a Thanksgiving poem. Bear with me just a moment, and I quote, May your stuffing be tasty, may your turkey plump. May your potatoes and gravy have nary a lump. May your yams be delicious and your pies take the prize, and your Thanksgiving dinner stay off your thighs. That is, again, by author Unknown, and that is today's segment of
Say What?
Speaking of Thanksgiving dinner, I know that I ate way too much tonight. I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely stuffed, and I'm very grateful for that, for the opportunity that I had to have such a huge meal as I did, because not everybody is so lucky. Even here in the United States of America, unfortunately, especially with the economy the way it is now, not everybody is lucky enough to have such an amazing meal as some of us have. So special prayers go out and thoughts go out to those. Unfortunately, that's all we can do here, but at least we can do that right. And I think about also on Thanksgiving, my mother was a CNA for many years, and every Thanksgiving she would have to work. And it was always kind of a reminder to me that there are some things that keep this society going. They just have to go. Like the nurses, the doctors, the police, the firefighters. We are very grateful here to have all of them working on a day like this, a holiday nonetheless, because unfortunately some people have to work holidays to keep this world going, right? Yeah, definitely keep those guys in your thoughts and prayers tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Be thankful that we have those in our society that are willing to sacrifice their time to do such things. And I'm sure they're very grateful for what they do, right? And gratefulness, as you guys may or may not know, is the key to happiness.
There's something you know about me, something very personal. And there's something I know about every one of you that's very central to your concerns.
I do want to point out that the reason I do these Thanksgiving shows is for those that may not have anything to do tonight, right? May not have that family to go to, may not be able to hang out with others for whatever reason. So we are, once again, very glad you're here to hang out with us. And hopefully we'll be able to make you just a little bit happy.
There's something that we know about everyone we meet anywhere in the world on the street that is the very mainspring of whatever they do and whatever they put up with. And that is that all of us want to be happy.
I don't think anybody would disagree that everybody wants to be happy.
In this we are all together. How we imagine our happiness, that differs from one another. But it's already a lot that we have all in common, that we want to be happy. Now, my topic is gratefulness. How is the connection between happiness and gratefulness? Many people would say, well, that's very easy. When you are happy, you are grateful.
Would you agree that if you're happy, you're grateful? Would you guys say that's the way it is? Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat room. If you agree, if you're happy, you're grateful. Go ahead and put a 2 in the chat room if you think no. If you're grateful, you're happy. And put a 3 in the chat room if you just have no idea what the heck I'm talking about to begin with.
But think again. Is it really the happy people that are grateful? We all know quite a number of people who have everything that it would take to be happy, and they are not happy.
Because things don't make you happy.
Because they want something else, so they want more of the same. And we all know people who have lots of misfortune. Misfortune that we ourselves would not want to have. And they are deeply happy. They radiate happiness.
Do you guys know anybody like that? That has got all kind of problems you definitely would not want to deal with, and yet they seem to be happier than most other people. It's kind of a paradoxical thing, right? But before we go any further, let's see what you guys said over there in chat. Remember, 1, if you think happiness makes somebody grateful. 2, if you think gratefulness makes somebody happy. And 3, if you're unsure. Let's see what you guys had to say. Looks like Lobo, Ohio says 2. Happiness or gratefulness makes you happy. Man, Danny Mall, no, happiness is what makes you grateful. Raider Champion with the 2 thinks that it's happiness first and then gratefulness. Errol with the 2. Terry Taggart with the 2? And the question mark there. My Life DIY 1.5. So happiness makes you grateful, but maybe the other way. Not quite sure. 1.5 on My Life DIY over there. Lorraine Lamore with the 2. Gratefulness makes you happy, she says. Hello, says Carol's Cookies. Hello, Carol's Cookies. Glad to have you here. Also, I see you over there, man. Daddy Ma, glad to have you stopping in too. JoJo's with the 1 and 2. Happiness makes you grateful, and gratefulness makes you happy. And let's see the conclusion that David Stein Rost came to.
So it is not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. If you think it's happiness that makes you grateful, think again. It's gratefulness that makes you happy.
It is not happiness that makes you grateful. It is gratefulness that makes you happy. Being thankful, being grateful to other people, sharing that gratitude with others, that tends to make one happier than any object ever could.
Now, we can ask, what really do we mean by gratefulness? And how does it work? I appeal to your own experience. We all know from experience how it goes. We experience something that's valuable to us. Something's given to us that's valuable to us. And it's really given. These 2 things have to come together. It has to be something valuable, and it's a real gift. You haven't bought it, you haven't earned it, you haven't traded it in, you haven't worked for it, it's just given to you. And when these 2 things come together, something that's really valuable to me, and I realize it's freely given, then gratefulness spontaneously rises in my heart, happiness spontaneously rises in my heart. That's how gratefulness happens.
I don't know about you guys, but when somebody gives me something like that, it tends to add value to it to me, right?
Now, the key to all this is that we can not only experience this once in a while, we can not only have grateful experiences, we can be people who live gratefully. Grateful living, that is the thing.
Grateful living is one of the keys, according to people who practice manifestation, to being able to manifest things in your life, being grateful for that which you do not yet have.
And how can we live gratefully? By experiencing, by becoming aware that every moment is a given moment, as we say. It's a gift. You haven't earned it. You haven't brought it about in any way. You have no way of assuring that there will be another moment given to you. And yet, that's the most valuable thing that can ever be given to us.
I've always said the most valuable thing you can give anybody is your time. You can't get that back.
This moment with all the opportunity that it contains. If we didn't have this present moment, we wouldn't have any opportunity to do anything or experience anything. And this moment is a gift. It's a given moment, as we say. Now, we say the gift within this gift is really the opportunity. What you're really grateful for is the opportunity, not the thing that is given to you, because if that thing were somewhere else and you didn't have the opportunity to enjoy it, to do something with it, you wouldn't be grateful for it. Opportunity is the gift within every gift. And we have this saying, opportunity knocks only once. Well, think again. Every moment is a new gift. Over and over again, and if you miss the opportunity of this moment, another moment is given to us.
Opportunity doesn't knock once. Opportunity knocks once every moment.
And another moment. We can avail ourselves of this opportunity or we can miss it. And if we avail ourselves of the opportunity, it is the key to happiness. We hold the master key to our happiness in our own hands. Moment by moment, we can be grateful for this gift. Does that mean that we can be grateful for everything? Certainly not. We cannot be grateful for violence, for war, for oppression, for exploitation. On the personal level, we cannot be grateful for the loss of a friend, for unfaithfulness, for bereavement.
I would honestly disagree with his statement that we can't be grateful for the bad things. I think we should be even more grateful for the bad things, because without the bad, we could not recognize the good.
But I didn't say we can be grateful for everything. I said we can be grateful in every given moment for the opportunity. And even when we are confronted with something that is terribly difficult, we can rise to this occasion and respond to the opportunity that is given to us. It isn't as bad as it might seem. Actually, when you look at it and experience it, you find that most of the time what is given to us is opportunity to enjoy. And we only miss it because we are rushing through life and we are not stopping to see the opportunity.
And that's never been more true than this day and age, when we seriously seem to rush through everything in our lives.
But once in a while something very difficult is given to us. And when this difficult thing occurs to us, it's a challenge to rise to that opportunity. And we can rise to it by learning something, which is sometimes painful. Learning patience, for instance. We have been told that the road to peace is not a sprint, but is more like a marathon. That takes patience. That's difficult. It may be to stand up for your opinion, to stand up for your conviction. That's an opportunity that is given to us.
An opportunity that I've luckily recently had the chance to self-indulge in, if you will, as I have been kind of fighting my local bus system over rights. And it's one of those things, once again, I took the opportunity in a moment to, or a multitude of moments in this particular case, to reach out and try to defend the rights of everyone in this city.
To learn, to suffer, to stand up All these opportunities are given to us, but they are opportunities, and those who avail themselves of those opportunities are the ones that we admire. They make something out of life.
But that's not anything special. That's just somebody taking the time to grab the opportunities in front of them, or even make opportunities out of each moment. But what about those that don't?
And those who fail get another opportunity. We always get another opportunity. That's the wonderful richness of life.
As long as you're breathing, and I would suggest being grateful for every breath, then you've always got another opportunity to do something new, to do something, to grab the bull by the horns, if you will, to make your dreams come true, to be grateful in that moment and see where it leads you.
So how can we find a method that will harness this? How can each one of us find a method for living gratefully, not just once in a while being grateful, but moment by moment to be grateful? How can we do it? It's a very simple method. It's so simple that it's actually what we were told as children when we learned to cross the street.
Something so simple that it's hard.
Stop, look, go. That's all. But how often do we stop?
Especially in today's fast-paced society, it's go, 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 go. And rarely anymore do we literally stop and take time for ourselves, or stop and take time to consider things outside of the regular daily grind.
We rush through life. We don't stop. We miss the opportunity because we don't stop. We have to stop. We have to get quiet. And we have to build stop signs into our lives.
And this is advice that I myself should take, because I come home from work late at night, and I get to working on things for this show, and working on different projects I got going. And I don't take the time myself to stop and sit a moment and just think and be quiet and try to center myself, right? I mean, I'm grateful for every opportunity that I have, and I'm one of those people that try to live that grateful lifestyle. But even I need to take the time to stop and settle myself for a little while, right?
When I was in Africa some years ago and then came back, I noticed water. In Africa, where I was, I didn't have drinkable water. Every time I turned on the faucet, I was overwhelmed. Every time I clicked on the light, I was so grateful. It made me so happy. But
My Life DIY says, yes, practice living in the moment and see the opportunities. Terry Taggart says, I stop in the warm month when I ground to the earth in the park. Think I need to do it more. That definitely sounds like a plan, Terry.
After a while, this wears off.
And doesn't that seem to be the case more often than not, as we go from being grateful to taking things for granted that they're always there?
So I put little stickers on the light switch and on the water faucet, and every time I turned on, water. So you leave it up to your own imagination. You can find whatever works best for you, but you need stop signs in your life. And when you stop, then the next thing is to look. You look, you open your eyes, you open your ears, you open your nose, you open all your senses for this wonderful richness that is given to us. If there's no end to it, that is what life is all about, to enjoy what is given to us. But then we can also open our hearts.
That's what life is all about, to enjoy what has been given to us in each individual moment.
Our hearts for the opportunities also to help others, to make others happy, because nothing makes us more happy than when all of us are happy. And when we open...
Wouldn't you agree? Nothing makes us more happy than when all of us are happy. And I don't know about you guys, but I tend to find happiness a little bit infectious. Even if I'm in a bad mood, if I'm around a lot of people who are happy, I tend to find myself being in a better mood also. How about you guys?
Our hearts to the opportunities invite us to do something. And that is the third. Stop, look, and then go and really do something. And what we can do is whatever life offers to you in that present moment, mostly it's the opportunity, enjoy. Sometimes it's something more difficult, but whatever it is, if we take this opportunity, go with it. We are creative. Those are the creative people. And that little stop, look, go is such a potent seed that it can revolutionize our world. Because we are at the present moment in the middle of a change of consciousness. And you will be surprised I'm always surprised when I hear how many times this word gratefulness and gratitude comes up. Everywhere you find it, a grateful airline, a restaurant gratefulness, a cafe gratefulness, a wine that is gratefulness. Yes, I've even come across a toilet paper that's brand is called Thank You.
And we'll get more into this in the second half, but that, in my opinion, is two of the most important words in the English language is thank you. Even if it is on toilet paper nonetheless. Which, I don't know about you, but there are times that I'm very thankful that I've got toilet paper.
Wave of gratefulness because people are becoming aware how important this is and how this can change our world. It can change our world in immensely important ways. Because if you're grateful, you're not fearful. And if you're not fearful, you're not violent.
Unfortunately, garbage platforms like the mainstream media or even YouTube or Facebook or most of these communist platforms only want to push fear instead of love and truth, right? They want to keep people in fear. That way they can keep them violent or even controllable, which is definitely a negative thing.
If you're grateful, you act out of a sense of enough and not of a sense of scarcity, and you're willing to share. If you're grateful, you are enjoying the differences between people, and you are respectful to everybody. And that changes this power pyramid under which we live. And it doesn't make for equality, but it makes for equal respect, and that is the important thing.
Now, that is one thing I have to agree with. Gratitude breeds respect. It's hard to be disrespectful to somebody who's being grateful to you, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, there are those buttheads that do, but it seems a lot harder to me to be disrespectful to someone when they're being kind and grateful and tell me thank you, things like that, you know?
The future of the world will be a network, not a pyramid,
My Life DIY says there's always shells, DWD. Yes, My Life, but do make sure you've got all three, right?
Turned upside down. The revolution of which I'm speaking is a non-violent revolution, and it's so revolutionary that it even revolutionizes the very concept of a revolution. Because the normal revolution is one where the power pyramid is turned upside down, and those who were on the bottom are now on the top, and are doing exactly the same thing that the ones did before. What we need is a networking of smaller and smaller groups who know one another, who interact with one another, and that is a grateful world. A grateful world is a world of joyful people. Grateful people are joyful people. And joyful people, the more and more joyful people there are, the more and more we'll have a joyful world.
I could not agree more with this statement. Grateful people are joyful people. And the more grateful people we have in this world, the more joyful of a world we shall have. Again, I couldn't disagree more. I tend to find myself in a much, much better mood, much happier when I'm more grateful, when I'm considering the things I'm grateful for. And I've seen a lot in the chat so far tonight. Grateful for such a great Thanksgiving dinner. Raiders Champion says, I'm grateful Mom and Sis enjoyed my Thanksgiving video. I'm grateful for Lobo's humor, says Raider. Thank you, Cottonelles. But there's so many things I've seen tonight. Grateful for entertaining movies. Being grateful it makes you joyful. As I see a lot of smiles and happy emojis in the chat tonight also. And being joyful can only lead to a better world.
We have a network for grateful living, and it has mushroomed. We couldn't understand it why it mushroomed. We have an opportunity for people to light a candle for when they are grateful for something. And there have been 15 million candles lit in 1 decade. People are becoming aware that a grateful world is a happy world. And we all have the opportunity, very simple, stop, look, go, to transform the world, to make it a happy place. And that is what I hope for us. And if this has contributed a little to making you want to do the same, stop, look, go.
So stop. Take the time to examine the moment and see what opportunities can be garnered out of this moment, and then act on them. I know that has helped me more times than not. Like when I started the International Mandela Effect Conference. That idea had been in my mind for about 6 months, and I convinced myself a multitude of times that there was no way. But when I stopped and took a moment to look at the opportunity and took the opportunity to reach out to somebody, from there it has blossomed into something more than I could have ever imagined. Stop, look, go. I really like that. But ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and you're listening to the Dark Wolf's Den radio show exclusively on Ripon, Common Sense Radio Network, the Ripon Rabbit Hole. We'll be right back after these messages with the second half. Don't you touch that dial. That's right.
We gotta stoke the fires and run off the men in black. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Oh yeah, Jerry Hicks on a Thanksgiving Thursday night. Hi everyone, it's AJ, the Ripon Rabbit. Are you having a wonderful Thanksgiving? I hope you are. Get full as you can of turkey, because it'll be coming out of your ears for the next week. Speaking of the next week, I will be back again tomorrow night for Black Friday. Join me Friday, November 26th. Starts at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. A journey deep through the rabbit hole of Black Friday and the yearly shopping craze of controversy. That's right, we're going to look at some of the biggest controversial Black Fridays in history. Then Saturday night, November 27th, come on down the rabbit hole with me as we explore a virtual sandbox and exactly what that means to the metaverse. Just how much is digital dirt worth in 2021? We're going to find out Saturday, November 27th. Then we'll end out the weekend right together with you, Planet Scouting. That's right, we'll dive straight through the rabbit hole and explore just where we might go after our planet no longer can house humanity. It's going to be an interesting weekend for sure. What are you thankful for? I can tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for the roof over my head, the food in my belly, and most important, I am thankful for my darling Nikki Rabbit. She is the love of my life, and it is a true joy to have her by my side. That's what I'm thankful for. How about you? Go ahead and put in the chat room for me what it is you're thankful for on this wonderful 2021 Thanksgiving. If you haven't done so already, please hop on over to our website, riponrabbithole.com. There you can sign up for your exclusive Backstage Pass. It's going to give you unfiltered access down the rabbit hole to where the conversation continues after the show. It's absolutely free to sign up for. It always will be. Once you're signed up, you'll be able to make posts on your own profile wall, and you can even submit articles, videos, and much more to our community-generated press. We've had some community articles published this week, as well as some podcast videos over on riponrabbithole.com. Come pay us a visit. I invite you to sign up. It's an excellent community over there where the conversation continues at ripinrabbithole.com. We'll return back to the Dark Wolf's Den show, the very special, so very thankful episode of Thanksgiving 2021. You're listening to the Ripon Common Sense Radio Network, the Ripon Rabbit Hole. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
This is My Life DIY, and
Hi, this is JoJo. Hi, my name is Ash.
Hey everybody, it's AJ the Ripon Rabbit.
This is Cynthia Sue Larson.
This is your man Meta, aka Propagate This Light.
And you're now listening
to Dark Wolf's Den.
The Dark Wolf's Den show on Ripon Common Sense Radio.
If you were meant to be controlled, you would have come with a remote, but you didn't. And that's why you listen to the Dark Wolf's Den show. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
That's right, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and welcome back to the second half of the Dark Wolf's Den radio show for Thursday, November the 25th, 2021. Happy Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad that you've chosen us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, in the first half, we've talked about gratefulness and the impact of gratefulness on our lives. And it does really have a major effect both on us personally as well as the world we interact with, right? If you're grateful to someone, they're going to have a lot different reaction to you than if you're mean or violent towards someone, right? It really does change everything around us with our attitude, with our grateful attitude. But one thing that is very important, and I said it in the first half, two of the most important words, in my opinion, in the English language are thank you. So simple, but yet so very important. And, you know, on Thanksgiving, that is the one day a year that we sit down and take a moment to be thankful for all that we have. Then the next day, we try to beat the life out of each other for more stuff, right? But in all seriousness, being thankful is truly not only a thing that is nice to do, it is really a way of life. Just ask Brian Doyle.
On January 1st, 2012, I was in a car with two of my best friends.
Real quick, the one of the best answers I've seen tonight so far. Carol, you're cracking me up over here. I'm grateful, says Carol, for the fact that the parents of the kid who I launched the sweet potatoes at didn't get mad at me. Apparently, they were playing sweet potato catapult today at their Thanksgiving dinner. That actually sounds kind of fun.
We had just rung in the new year, shopping, listening to music, just doing things as usual. And on the drive home that day, on a road actually not too far from here, there was a car on the other side of the street that started to flash its bright lights at me, repeatedly, annoyingly. And it turned out that what it was trying to do was alert me of a car in my lane on the wrong side of the road, coming directly at us at a speed much faster than we were going. And before I knew it, it was so close that I could actually read the letters and the numbers of the license plate. And that's when I realized that if I did not move our car right then, we would be dead. After a quick swerve and just barely missing the car, we stabilized on the side of the road and were finally able to catch a breath. I had tears in my eyes. We had almost just died. And with my hands clamped on the steering wheel and my mind racing, I remember thinking of one thing in particular, and that was, where did I stand in that moment with the relationships in my life?
And it is unfortunate that it takes something so extreme like a tragedy or a near tragedy, luckily in this point, to actually make us stop a second and wonder how thankful we really are for the people that we have around us.
I thought about when I left the house that morning. What were the last words that I said to my mom? Did I say, I love you? Or did I just rush out the door like usual? And I thought about my friends, be it my best friends or those who I hadn't spoken to in years. And did they know how much I appreciated them? I went home that night incredibly flustered, and I thought about this for a while, about 11 months actually, until Thanksgiving Day last year, when I found myself in New York City in my aunt's apartment, sitting on her couch, about to go to sleep for the night. I was on my phone, as we all are, flicking through the Facebook statuses of the day, and I could see how people were expressing their thanks and their gratitude to those in their lives. And as I kept scrolling, I suddenly became so puzzled. And I thought to myself, why on earth does this have to just be one day?
And that is such a great question. Why on earth do we only celebrate our thankfulness, or actually act thankful, one day out of the entire year?
Or better yet, why only here online? Why can't we do something more, something deeper, something more meaningful? And that's when the light bulb went off in my head. I sat up and I literally said out loud, I have an idea. So, naturally, I told my world. I made a Facebook status about it. And I said that I had this idea where for the next 365 days, I was going to try and say thank you to one person every single day with no repeats.
Do you think showing that kind of gratitude every single day would change the world? Maybe not with one person, maybe so. But just saying thank you to one person in your life every single day, do you think that would make the world just a little bit better? I think it would.
I would either call them up or I would sit down with them in person, and I would tell them thank you for the meaning that they've had in my life, for the impact that they had made. And at the end of the day, I would write a blog post about them, first speaking to their individuality, and then thanking them again for all that they had done. Now, at the time, it was just an idea, and I had absolutely no clue where this would take me.
And think about this. It's easy to say thank you to somebody when they've done something for you, right? But what about those people that you're really not all that fond of? They're in your life, but you're not all that fond of. Could you thank them? Perhaps thank them for showing you the different way, or showing you how things shouldn't be, right? But there's still reason to be thankful. They've still helped you in some way.
But I went for it. So I started the next day. The first person I thanked was my best friend in a coffee shop in New York City, and it felt so different, but it was so much fun at the same time. Nonetheless, boom, one down, 364 to go. Now, as I continued, I thanked different high school teachers. I thanked different mentors in my life, artists, friends.
You know, the more I think about this, the more I wonder if I even know 300 people that I could thank a different person every single day.
And before I knew it, I found myself at number 170.
My Life DIY says yes, it would change the world for the one doing it and the ones they impact. Exactly my life.
My dad. Now, I knew I wanted to thank him in person, so I waited until I flew home from school. And on my first day back, I found myself with him on the golf course, a place we hadn't been together in years. And as the day went on, I kept trying to find him alone, but it was tough, and I was nervous. So nervous, in fact, that when I finally had him sitting alone on a bench, waiting for the couple in front of us to play, I could literally feel my heart pounding in my chest. And I remember thinking to myself, why? All you're doing is saying thank you to him. That's literally it. But this was new. This was different. I had never, in my entire life, just sat down with my dad only to say thank you. Never.
And of course, when something's new and scary, no matter how simple it is, even just the very act of saying thank you, if it's new to you, if it's something you've never done in that particular situation, this particular one being his father, then of course it's going to be a little nerve-wracking for you, right? But in the end, it may actually be the best decision you ever made.
Now, as I finally started the conversation, I thanked him for everything. I thanked him for the lessons I had learned from him, and for the adventures we'd been on together, and for the foods that he's made me try, reluctantly, and for the times when he'd pull me back on a walk and say, Brian, come here. Look at the way the sunlight is hitting that cloud right now. Isn't that gorgeous? I thanked him for how he's helped develop me into who I am today. His reaction was humble, and yet we would embark on a 2-hour conversation about our relationship. And ever since, I feel like something has been unlocked. I felt like I've been more open with him, and I felt happier. I felt like I had released this secret that I've kept hidden forever. And yes, I'm gay, and he's known that for years. But for some reason, voicing my appreciation to him was more nerve-wracking and more stressful than coming out to my own father as gay. Why is that? All I was doing was saying thank you to him. That's it.
I gotta say, that's kind of funny. Saying thank you is more nerve-wracking than coming out of the closet to his own father.
Again, it's because I had never done this. It was foreign to me. And yet, ever since, our bond has grown so much stronger, more tangible, much more real. Now, I pushed on forward, and I thanked my kindergarten teacher, I thanked my high school soccer coach, I thanked other friends of mine, and I found myself at number 249. I was back here in San Diego for a few weeks over the summer, and on the drive home that day, I pulled over to the side of the road to take a phone call from my friend Kayla back in D.C. And as I was on the phone with her, I was looking through the window of my car, and I could see this guy walking with his mom. And as he got about parallel to my car, I realized that, oh, that was David. Now, David was this kid who I had gone to elementary school with. And truthfully, I'd never said more than 10 words to him growing up, and neither him to me. But I noticed him. You see, David has Asperger's syndrome. And growing up, he was bullied. A lot. And I was always amazed at how he would just let the comments roll off his back. How he would keep his head held high through it all. And I realized how much I learned from him. I learned how to be proud of who I am. I learned how to be confident. I learned how to have a thick skin. And as I was remembering all of this, it just clicked. And I literally dropped the phone with Kayla still on the line, and I rolled down the window, and I yelled across the street, David, can you come here for a second? I want to tell you something. As he came over, I reminded him who I was, and I thanked him right there through the window for the influence that he's had in my life. And as I was doing that, his mom, who was standing just a few steps back with her hands over her face, I could tell that she was crying. And that's when I realized that maybe David has never heard this before. Think about that. You see, people don't know we appreciate them unless we show it, unless we verbalize it. We hope they do, and we think that they know, and we assume that they know. But they honestly just don't unless we tell them.
Never take somebody for granted. People, like he just said, and it's so true, won't know and don't know how we feel about them if we don't tell them. We're not mind readers. None of us are. So, giving that moment of gratitude, saying thank you to somebody, especially somebody who's not used to hearing such a thing, not only makes you happier, it makes them happier. It changes their life, their day. Even if just for a moment, that may have changed the way he interacted with the world the rest of the day, the rest of the week, we don't know. But showing that gratitude to someone, as much as it might throw them off, it's mind-boggling because a lot of people in this world today just don't show that kind of gratitude, don't show that thankfulness. People today are too busy trying to tear each other down and not build each other up and be thankful for each other.
Now, as I've continued, this has become more than just a project.
Hello, Kitten 10333. Glad to have you here, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
It's become a way of life for me. It's become natural. Truth be told, I honestly cannot remember what it feels like to not say thank you to someone like this every single day. I wake up every morning, and the first thing I think is, who am I going to say thank you to today? And for what? Instead of, man, this class is going to suck. And then I spend the rest of my day looking for the good. And honestly, it is absolutely everywhere.
Now, that is such wonderful advice to live by. Advice that kind of like what Cynthia Sue Larson tells us all the time. And that's kind of what I couldn't help but think about listening to that, is how Cynthia Sue Larson every day looks for the best in every situation and asks the universe constantly, how good can it get?
But in reality, we all appreciate, right? I know we at least think about it. But how often do we actually say it? I spent a lot of time and months now thinking about how do I want to end my project, my 365th thank you.
Sandy B says, yes, that's why when I see anyone who is in service or has served, I thank them. The ultimate sacrifice is the give of yourself to your country. That is so very true. And that is one thing that I also make it a point to do any time I meet somebody who is active military or even inactive military, but has had experience in the military. I make it a point to say thank you for your service to this country. So if no one else in a day, I definitely get a chance to thank the soldiers, right?
Rounding out my year, completing this journey. And after months of deliberation and stress, I know that I found the perfect fit for it. My 365th thank you is actually to all of you, right here in front of me. All of you are sitting here with such eager eyes and bright minds and truly have the potential, the unlimited potential, to change our community right here and our world at large. And for that, I have to say thank you. Thank you so much just for listening and for being open to these new ideas and experiences and for taking what you've heard here today and for putting it into action tomorrow. And with that, I really want to call on us.
A thank you that rings forward through time even to this Thanksgiving, which is amazing considering he came up with this idea on Thanksgiving one year and has continued to go for a whole year and do this. So this, albeit recorded in 2013, is a thank you that rings out through time till 2021. And I have to point out, ladies and gentlemen, I've got an update on the sweet potato catapult here from Carol's Cookies over in the Dark Wolf's Den show. She says, "Oh, this is killing me. The kid I launched the potatoes at said grace tonight before the catapult incident, and he said he was thankful for, quote, kind friends, end quote. Then I went and hit him with potatoes. He was not my intended target," she says. Thank you, Carol's Cookies, for both sharing that and giving everyone here a nice little chuckle. That is funny.
Think about these people in our lives that we appreciate, those that we have gratitude for, those that we're thankful for, whether it's a best friend who you've known for years, or maybe it's a loved one, or maybe it's somebody who held the door open for you here today. And really think about what have they played a role in your life. And let's not stop there. Let's say it. Let's tell them before it's too late.
Say thank you today, because you never know if there's going to be a tomorrow. But do you think that would change the world, ladies and gentlemen? Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat room if you think being grateful and saying thank you to someone every single day could help change the world to a happier place. Go ahead and put a 2 in the chat room if you think, no matter what I say or do, the world's going to do what it's going to do, the pessimistic point of view. Go ahead and put a 3 in the chat room if you're not quite sure. Personally, I really think that it would change the world. I think it would help a lot. If everybody that can hear this right now just takes a moment to thank somebody in your life. I thank you guys for being here tonight. I thank you guys for following along with us for the last year and a half. I thank you guys for putting the word out that we're here and sharing the information. And I thank you for all the support you've given us this whole time. And again, not financially, just listening to us, just being here with us. That is more supportive than anything, and I thank you so much. And I thank the law enforcement, and I thank the doctors and nurses and all those that have had to work on the holidays. I thank you for your time, your effort, and your never-ending love for humanity. Because if not, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing, regardless of pay, right? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, what all are you thankful for? Over here in the chat, it looks like Sandy B says 111 absolutely thinks being thankful would change the world. Low Ohio with the 2. Not so sure about that. My Life DIY with the 111 across the board definitely thinks that would have an impact in the world. And Terry Tiger, it was 1 if you think, if everybody said thank you to each other, made it a point like this gentleman to say thank you to at least one person every day. Yep, there's the 1. I don't even have to continue. 1's from Terry Taggart, 1's from Kitten10333. And I could not agree more. I think that would have a major impact in this world. At least bring back a little bit more good from where we're at. Perhaps it's your children, perhaps it's your parents, perhaps it's your job or your schooling, perhaps it's something that has happened to you along the way in life, perhaps it is somebody sitting right beside you that you've neglected to tell thank you to for far too long. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, take that moment. Take every chance you get to live the grateful life. Ask the universe how good could it get, and say thank you to every chance that you have, to every opportunity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my opinion on being thankful. And happy Thanksgiving, folks. I'm very glad and thankful to have you guys right here with us. But in the end, ladies and gentlemen, all you can do is look at the evidence, apply a little common sense, and you be the thankful judge. We got to close it out. That's right, that's it for this episode of the Dark Wolf's Den radio show for Thursday, November the 25th, 2021. happy Thanksgiving once again, ladies and gentlemen. So whether you're on the edge of a reality, the edge of the galaxy, or the edge of your seat, we're glad you chose us to be right there with you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Inn may be closing for the final time this weekend, but don't you worry, the weekend fun has only just begun. Check this out. On Black Friday, November 26, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, our good buddy AJ the Ripon Rabbit comes back. Somebody I am also incredibly thankful for all of the opportunities he's given me, as well as just knowing him as a person. Thank you, AJ, for all that you do for this community, for this radio station, and for me. We sincerely appreciate it. And he'll be back tomorrow night, Friday, November 26th, once again, 2021, to talk about Black Friday. What else would you talk about on Black Friday, right? All the years we have been trampling each other for new stuff, for the hottest new thing. But is it worth it? There's so much to talk about and so little time to get there, ladies and gentlemen. And AJ, the Ripon Rabbit, will be discussing all of it on Friday, November 26th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, that's right. Then on Saturday, November the 27th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, AJ the Ripon Rabbit comes back to the airwaves again with another episode of the Ripon Rabbit Hole live show, where he's talking about the virtual sandbox that is the metaverse. We've heard a lot about this in the last month or so, and reality itself is going to more of a, especially technology, is going to more of a virtual reality base. But is the sand in the sandbox worth playing in, or could it be a little deceptive? AJ will discuss all that and more on Saturday, November the 27th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, right here on Ripon Common Sense Radio Network. All shows here on the network start at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. Then on Sunday, November 28th, 2021, once again, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central, our buddy AJ the Ripon Rabbit comes back for one last episode of the Ripon Rabbit Live Hole for the weekend. This weekend's closing out topic will be planet scouting. The Earth is coming closer and closer every day to having way too many people on it. And when we decide to finally go to another world, we're going to have to scout out a new place, right? Something, like I said yesterday, that I used to enjoy helping do from NASA and ESETI, things like that. So planet scouting, a topic that I am definitely going to make sure I tune in for, will be Sunday, November 28th, 2021, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10/9 Central. And that's going to round out the weekend here at the RiponRabbitHole.com, Ripon Common Sense Radio. And speaking of the RiponRabbitHole.com, make sure you hop on over to the RiponRabbitHole.com if you haven't already. That is RiponRabbitHole.com. Over there, you're going to find a plethora of fun. I say it every week. It is a plethora, yes, a plethora of fun. Like the 24/7 Backstage Lounge. Well, first thing you got to do is sign up for your VIP pass. Absolutely free, always will be, and we're glad to have you joining us over there. And then you can hop in the 24/7 Backstage Lounge, my favorite place to hang out, and I'm sure it will quickly become yours, where us rabbits hang out and discuss the all sorts of topics, from the topics of the day to the paranormal and much, much more. Also, while you're over there, make sure you select the Listen Live button, drop down to the On Demand section, and catch all of the shows we've done from day one, especially like the one last Thursday, Certain Unalienable Rights, that's not only important on its own measure, but the fact that YouTube took it down, you can now find it almost exclusively at the RiponRabbitHole.com or BitChute or Odyssey, but definitely not on YouTube. And also, while you're on our RiponRabbitHole.com over there, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of CommyTube, like Facebook and YouTube, we have a place called Down the Rabbit Hole where we do not practice those communist things. We do not censor like that. We are glad to have information freely shared. So if you've got information you want to share with the rabbits, come on and drop it down the rabbit hole on the RiponRabbitHole.com. As a matter of fact, that's where I'm going to hop on over to right now and jump in the 24/7 Backstage Lounge, and I hope to see every last one of you guys there. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and you've been listening to the Dark Wolf's Den radio show on the RiponRabbitHole.com, Ripon Common Sense Radio Network. On behalf of AJ the Ripon Rabbit, Chick Mandela Effect, Michael Musco, Walt House, Tom Bayless for this incredible music. Get down, Tom. If you're looking for a custom soundtrack for your next project, make sure you check out Red Shed Studios. Links in the description. On behalf of all these folks, ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf. And remember, until next time, stay awake, but dare to dream. Good night, everybody. Let's go, Brandon. Happy Thanksgiving. How? Yeah. That's right. All right, guys, you ready? You know what time it is. I want everybody to join me over there in the chat. Ready? Let's go, Brandon. FJB. Let me hear you. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Man, Danny Mall says, thank you, Brandon. Thank you for showing us how bad a president can truly be, is what I say. Let's go, Brandon.
What's the truth in this riddle? Is love really just this simple? I can't seem to find my way in this world that never stays.
Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Keep messing with the Patriots and you will see. Let's go, Brandon, FJB.
What a sinner. Is it in her?
Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Let's go, Brandon. Can you hear me? FJB. Joe Biden lives in a wonderland of confusion.
Just illusion, manifestation, or a dark delusion? Is this real or just illusion? I'm lost in a wonderland of confusion.
Commie Joe's in a wonderland of confusion. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. That's right, this is the Commie Joe's theme song. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Joe lives in a wonderland of confusion. Let's go, Brandon, FJB. Thank you, Commie Joe. Now everyone will know. how pathetic one person can be, how quickly they can ruin a country. Let's go, Brandon FJB. I see you guys out there in the chat. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and I thank every last one of you guys for being here for this very special Thanksgiving episode. So from our family to yours, ladies and gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.